hurricane, a tidal wave. Essence perfect, life looks brilliant. Give me more of this. I'm out of control, about to blow, and I've been caught in the undertow. So toxic, but I can't get enough. You bury me, bury me. Yeah, you bury me, bury me. You've got me hypnotized. Push me out of myself. You've got me hypnotized. I can see, I can hear, going crazy, but the light has got me hypnotized. You've got me hypnotized. And there you are at my hand again. Is it wrong? Is it right? It's like I've won my final war without a fight. I'm out of control, about to blow, and I've been caught in the undertow. So toxic, but I can't get enough. You bury me, bury me. I know you bury me, bury me. You've got me hypnotized. Push me out of myself. You've got me hypnotized. I can see, I can hear, going crazy, but the light has got me hypnotized.
Please note.
Never gonna stop, never gonna change, never gonna do the things you say. I run my own way to get there. Pulls a coin and I don't seem to care. In the air, no more crowd, just the opposite kind of few clouds. Tell me the storm is coming, for the sake of all your lies. Why don't you try to be wise? Know that I need you anyway. Just to feel like I'm fading. And though my heart breaks a beat of sound, I've got to let just to tell you, don't lead the way, don't even say that I drown with a conflict. I am in misery. Everyone is watching me when I'm coming around. They all are judging me when I'm lying on the ground. I've got no shelter, I've got no escape. My life is a prison and I can't run away. I feel it in my bones, I'm losing it all. Stuck in my head, I am in misery. Deep inside myself, all I get, my only family. Stuck in the grave, can someone rescue me? I'm burning alive, I got it, I am in misery.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to a new year, new NXT, but the same old taking over crew. I am, of course, OLED Ed Fries. Apparently, for the last time this year, joined by the natural Astra Pizarro. Because apparently, I'm going to need a new co-host after that reaction. Bobby Munson's in the chat. Hello, Bobby Munson. I hope you enjoyed watching NXT on Netflix tonight. Millie's here on time and excited. Hello, Miss Millie. Thank you for joining us. Millie is very excited about the first hour of this show. I can almost guarantee it. We had 3 women's matches back to back. The entire women's portion of this evening was essentially the first hour of the show. Me and Bobby watched last night Raw, and he's like, I really enjoyed this show. A full card of wrestling with no filler. Or, well, at least minimal filter. Yeah, there was minimal filler on the show. I mean, obviously we need some backstage segments, and, you know, the last 5 minutes of the show, regardless, we're going to start there because we want to end where we end. So we're going to, where NXT should have ended is where we're going to end. The Rock came out. He said some words. He said a lot of naughty words. He had 6 minutes and wasted about 4.5 of them talking about how he only had 6 minutes. All right, we move on from The Rock to the start of the show. Roxanne taking on Giulia. Giulia's challenging for the NXT Women's Championship and new NXT Women's Champion. I'm so happy. I'm so happy. The queen is dead. The queen is dead. Long live Giulia. Esther, do you want to talk about the 9-month reign of Miss Roxanne Perez?
Such a bittersweet moment. I'm happy for Giulia, of course, because of all people, I'm glad she's one that it's gonna continue on what Roxy started. But at the same time, very sad that it ended. I feel like my only disappointment in this reign is the fact that her as champion and the way she delivered all her matches, and she still never main evented a PLE with a championship match. Even tonight, they could have held this off a little bit longer for a PLE, and we got it for the first episode because that's what they decided to do for us. So I that's the only thing. But again, I feel like I said it before, and this is to me what her first reign should have been. You know, she defended against so many different people in so many different aspects. She came out on top. She grew so much. Again, she reminded me of Bayley because somebody that I didn't believe was a heel. And at first I was like skeptical about it, but I know she's learning still because that's what she's in NXT. But at the same time, she has grown so much from the heel promos that she gave us when she started to where she is now. And let's just say this match is really incredible. I wish it would have been a little bit longer because I was enjoying myself in this match, and it was just great overall, amazing. They had such a great chemistry. I feel like they did very well with the timing. One of my favorite parts was when they were just outside laying down, and even Corey's like, that was nasty. They're not even moving. And we get Cora coming here, which is something that we expected to happen there as well, coming in to assist Roxy for her to try to beat that count and beating the count. So it doesn't end by count out. But again, the way that this ended with, you know, the knee and Northern Lights, everything, just wow. I feel like if they did very well with it. I feel like there's nothing I would have done differently about it. They had a great back and forth here, and really I have no complaints about this match whatsoever. Just kind of sad, you know, that it's over. But again, Roxy, one of the greatest NXT Women's Champions we have recently.
We've got a new name in the chat, Stepotar. Thank you for joining us. Hey, hello. We also got Nathan Johnny Lance, and the new name in the chat that I haven't seen before. Thank you for both for joining us. Yeah, this was great. I mean, I have my things with Roxanne, but mostly it's just to needle her. It really is mostly just to needle her. I mean, Roxanne Perez was my WWE Women's Wrestler of the Year.
I knew it.
She deserved for everything she did this year. She deserved that reign. But at the same time, this defeat has been a long time coming.
Mm-hmm.
She needed to drop this title. She needs to go to main roster sooner rather than later. It's our loss here on Tuesdays, but we'll be much happier on either Mondays or Fridays in the near future. And by the way, if she shows up on Friday nights, she might just see an old friend.
All I have to say now is it's Tiffy time.
Because yes, Tiffany is the new women's champion on SmackDown. Very excited for that one. But no, this was a great match. Giulia is going to take this title for whatever length of time she's in NXT. She is going to take this title and do some crazy, insane matches with it. She's going to elevate talent that might not be at her level. And she's going to continue to do what Roxanne did, but for the heels. Because the one thing that's kind of been a negative to this Roxanne reign is her doing this reign as a heel really slowed down the momentum of all the heels on this roster. Because there was a logjam, because you couldn't put heels against Roxanne. You can now do that and you can go ahead and do it with a babyface champion. So we're going to finally see the likes of Jacy Jayne before she moves up getting a title shot. We're going to see the likes of Fallon Henley getting a title shot once she loses to Stephanie Vaquer. We're going to, which will happen much sooner rather than later. But the heel side of this division is really going to get interesting. And you can even, with Giulia, tempt that tweener role. And you can put her up against people like Sol Ruca, like Zarya, like Jada. There are layers to this for her that is going to be so insanely great. Bring her to SmackDown? Absolutely. I mean, that division's kind of loaded right now. I think she ends up having to go to Raw for the time being. But I think SmackDown is her home because there's so many great matches for her on that SmackDown side. Yeah, she's been extremely great. No, she's not. Mayu Iwatani is not coming to NXT. She's not. That's not where people from Stardom go. That's where people from Marigold go. She's probably headed to the other North American company with female wrestlers. I mean, they don't showcase them like NXT, but she's probably headed over there with Mina. Roxanne makes my skin crawl, meaning she's great. I mean, she is absolutely fantastic. Yeah. Give Roxanne her flowers, but absolutely. I mean, like I said, I gave her flowers as soon as we did the end of year show I talked about the litany of matches that she had that could have been, should have been PLE, main events, especially Battleground against Jordynne Grace. Like, I think all of her title reign kind of pales in comparison to she faced Jordynne Grace for the NXT Women's Championship in a banger of a match too. But we see the fall of one champion means one thing, the rise of another. Then NXT starts going a little wobbly. Eddy Thorpe is in the stairwell and he's been attacked and
the fall
don't buy it. Ava don't buy it. Nor should she.
I know, I don't either.
But either way, Eddy Thorpe's been attacked, and Ava tells us, no matter what, we're still getting the triple threat match in our main event. And I'm like, fine. I don't want Eddy here. I don't need Eddy here. But fine. We then get to our second match of the night, which is, again, part of our women's first hour of NXT this week, where we had, it's actually a fatal four-way, I believe, not a fatal three-way. The fatal four-way between Stephanie Vaquer, Kelani Jordan, Lola Vice, and Cora Jade.
You sound so happy about Lola being there.
Oh, I was so thrilled. So thrilled. Thankfully, she lost, so we don't have to worry about that. We don't have to worry about people like Mike coming in and being like, Lola for champ. No, Lola for nothing. Lola for nothing. Lola lost. We don't have to worry about Lola today. Will coming in saying, how in the world we got The Rock on NXT and Roman is like, nah, I'm good. I mean, I don't want Roman on NXT, to be honest with you. I don't need that. I didn't need The Rock tonight either, but I mean, he's in the area, so might as well. Yes, Ava and Eddy was indeed a great interaction. Hello, Basser. Thank you for joining us. We greatly appreciate it. Hopefully, a lot of people who don't get to normally see NXT because of especially our Canadian contingent, finally getting regular access to NXT is going to be fun for them. People like Mike, like Basser, like Bobby. Some of these of our Canadian friends are going to be able to see it easy, no questions asked. Just pop on Netflix and it'll be there week in and week out. I like this Fatal 4-Way. I thought it was exactly what it needed to be. Every woman got their chance to shine. There really were no down points. There really were no points where anybody did anything drastically, awful in this match. Cora continues to look great since coming back. Her in-ring stuff is better since she came back. I mean, it couldn't have gotten much worse, but it's getting better. Let's live on the positive. It's getting better. I thought Kelani did really good here. I thought Kelani playing a heel is going to be very interesting in the near future because she has to be turning heel. Based on what they've done with her for the last 3 weeks, she has to be turning heel.
Which will be interesting too, because she's another one similar to like Roxanne, that she's such a sweet baby face that it's hard to see her as a heel. But I feel like it'll be a good test for her to see her as a heel and see her go from the ground up and build that up moving forward the way Roxanne did too. But I feel like the only one that didn't shine for me as well was Cora. I feel like she didn't get the highlight like the rest of the ladies did in this match. But at the same time, it feels weird that she has only one match since she has returned so far, which feels so weird to think about with Cora. It's something that I don't know why I can't comprehend that. It just feels like the time is very odd in that aspect. But again, this one's another fun match. I liked when at one point Kelani's like growing in her confidence. She's pulling Stephanie's hair in the corner. Stephanie just grabs and throws her down in such a way that even the commentary was like, oof, that was nasty to think about. But again, and I love Kelani being like at the end doing that moonsault, and we get Cora moving out of the way just in time for Stephanie to like take advantage of that. And I feel like the timing of that was so great, because to be able to have Kelani on the air while Cora moves out of the way and Stephanie to be able to capitalize right as Kelani is landing, that was just incredible to watch. Definitely glad that Lola didn't win this, because I don't want her to need a championship at this point in her career yet. But I feel like they all did great. They all shined somehow, and it was fun. It was like it was just the only thing that this was a little bit more predictable in that aspect, because most of us probably expected Stephanie to win this to begin with.
Yeah, like I said, I think honestly, I thought Kelani was going to win. To be brutally honest, I really thought Kelani was going to win this, because I continue to and still do put Stephanie in the women's NXT championship picture much more than I do her in the, because we talked about this before she got here, about how it could be a real bad negative to the NXT women's locker room if we have a logjam with Stephanie and Giulia both holding championships. Like that's a dangerous idea, because those two shouldn't be losing anytime soon, unless it's to each other. So it's like giving them both championships puts you in a dangerous spot where you're going to kind of knock down the growth of some of your other superstars for that North American Women's Championship, which, like we talked about with Kelani, the greatness that it gave to Kelani, the confidence that it gave her. I want to do that for others. It's done nothing for Fallon, but I think Fallon was pretty much as done as she was gonna be before she got the championship. And she's definitely as done as she's gonna be working with Jacy.
I feel like the only thing that could happen though, because we do have, even though she won the number one contenders match tonight, Shotzi pinned Fallon later on, so she's like, well, I could be a contender too, and then next week we're gonna get Stephanie versus Shotzi. The only thing I can see happening here that could also protect Stephanie is having anybody from Fatal Influence, including Fallon, interrupting this match so that Shotzi gets the win instead of Stephanie. That's the only thing that I could see happening that could derail this from Stephanie being near the championship at the moment and kind of making her way towards Giulia, perhaps. That's the only option that I see to get out of it.
I mean, at this point, I'd almost take it just to get her out of that North American title picture, because that, no offense to Stephanie, but if she's going to hold the title, it needs to be and I don't mind flip-flopping that NXT Women's Championship a few times, as long as it's between Giulia and Stephanie. Like, I know
it hasn't.
Hot potatoing a championship is never normally a good thing. But I wouldn't mind a Charlotte Sasha Banksy type thing here with that, like the Raw Women's Championship when it got introduced. And we had Sasha win the title 4 times and lose the title 4 times in the matter of, what was it, 6 weeks? I think it was. It was crazy.
Probably.
Getting back to our discussion about the NXT being on the for our Canadian friends, it used to be on Sportsnet 360, the same channel that TNA is now on, but it just got preempted to the online. And like a lot of people, like, I don't have cable. I watch via, the Hulu Live TV. So not having cable, not having too many subscriptions like Bobby, It's a great filler for Netflix. The only people who lose out on this Netflix deal is the United States, which I think is kind of funny. We got STG saying hello to both of us after leaving comments in the chat. He's also saying hello to our chatters. But yeah, and she's still talking about Kelani being a heel, but she's like, I still want to see it.
Mm-hmm.
Which, of course, is what we should be doing. Speaking of things that NXT should be doing, we get a backstage, we get a recap of the Ethan and Javon Evans stuff. Which is fun because I like seeing this because I didn't see it from my seat when it happened. Like I saw him put the chair on, I saw him stomp the chair. It wasn't until they moved Javon that we got to see the blood.
I could have done without that blood. That was stupid.
Yep. And then we get Javon cutting a promo where he's a ventriloquist without a dummy, aka he has his jaw wired shut. What? It is exactly what happened.
I know. I just don't like
Talk
it.
like this without moving.
Yeah, not a fan of it. Not a fan of it whatsoever.
They just need to give him a little dummy that he can put on his hand and use the dummy to talk for.
No.
Yeah, I like that they're doing it, but at the same time, I'm not all in on it. I don't think it's great.
Yep.
Oh no, she still wants to see Giulia and Stephanie as champs together.
Okay.
At the same time. All right, well that's fine. I mean, to each their own. Like I said, I want more for Stephanie. I just don't need her to. Stephanie could theoretically be one of the first Triple Crown winners in NXT history. Because Roxanne's never going to win the Women's North American Championship. And I don't count the breakout as a piece to this. Because the people who win the breakout aren't supposed to be Triple Crown champions in the first place. Except for Oba Femi, apparently. Because now he is. But no, I see more for her than that. Javon actually cuts a really cool promo. And he says, for what you did to Cedric, for what you did to me, I'm coming for you. Yeah. And then we get a backstage segment with the Unholy Union backstage with Ava. And we find out that next week we're going to be going ahead and having Jakara and Lash taking on the Unholy Union next week. And the winner of that match will be the number one contenders for Bianca and Naomi. And the women's WWE Tag Team Championships. Yeah, that'll be fine. Oba comes in and he's like, Ava, and she's like, look, it's a triple threat match. I don't care what happened to him. I don't believe him. It's not. And Oba's like, no, Ava, you could believe him this time. I took him out. He talked that shit. He got in my way. I took him out. Is this the first heel thing Oba Femi has actually done?
I was about to say, when I saw this, at the same time made me laugh because it made me think this is the first time he does anything like that it's more extra like heelish than usual. And then I didn't expect it from him. That's what made me laugh because being with the memes, I was like, it would have been funnier if The Rock had attacked Eddy, in my opinion. Like, that would have been it for me. But having Oba be like, no, it's true. I did it. And it's like, oh, okay. It's like, you don't expect somebody like Oba Femi, who's already strong as it is, to try to take that advantage of having the championship match be one-on-one instead of a three-way. That it felt like it was a good twist in that sort of way, because I didn't expect Eddy to attack himself again, but I thought it was funny the way Ava replied to him back. It's like, oh no, I know what you're doing though. Are you trying to get out of the fatal, the three-way now? So I thought that was pretty funny, but I know it wasn't him, but at the same time, I wasn't expecting Oba to be the person that did it either. So I was like, I feel like that was a good full circle there for him.
And I like the fact, again, you say full circle. Remember, Eddy accuses Oba, which is how he gets his match with Trick. So, like, I like that they're closing this little itty-bitty loop. Like, it makes sense. Like, Oba didn't take him out because he's afraid of him. Oba didn't take him out because he's, I have to get it to a one-on-one match. He's like, no, Eddy, you annoyed me. You pissed me off. I took you out. You said I did it. So now I've actually done it.
Genius.
Which is just fine. Like, it's just fantastic. Eddie Thorpe didn't need to be in this match, and guess what? We proved it later on in the night. So we'll get to that.
Yeah.
We go back to the chat. We have Will saying, I think Kelani will cost Stephanie the match and there'll be her full heel turn. That's a possibility. That's absolutely something that could happen. Again, this is a show that you should ask with our Japanese wrestling update crew. Andre and Mel are very tapped into the Japanese wrestling scene. They'll be able to answer that for you this Friday night at 8 p.m. Mountain Time, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
There you go.
I low-key, for a moment, I was hoping Ava and The Rock got Eddie.
Exactly.
Like, I get it, but like at the same time, do we really just want to waste The Rock for something like that?
No, do it for the memes. Might as well.
We then get Hunter and Nick Khan in the crowd, which fine.
Triple H trying to start the NXT channel didn't work.
I would have been much happier about this had everything with Fox Sports not come out this week. Because I think having Nick Khan on TV this week was probably a bad look.
Oh yeah.
Those that don't know, just look up Fox Sports harassment, and that will lead you all in the right direction. Go check out Brandon Thurston's Twitter account.
Yes.
By the way, one of the best. Brandon Thurston is absolutely one of the best for news. Well, less for news, more for numbers. But either way, Brandon Thurston cannot recommend his Twitter enough. He's just great. It is just awkward. It really is just like it makes sense for Triple H, for Stephanie, and people like that. It's just so weird to see the money guys come out here and like sit in the crowd. I'm just like, why do I care that Nick Khan's there?
But not only that, they were the only people they showed. If they were gonna do this, they should have shown at least more people or brought in more people in the crowd. Like the people from the main roster, you could have put them there to do that too. It was like I even Shawn Michaels because we like the chef and we want to, cheer him on for what he's doing.
We can't put him on TV. He's running the show.
So, and Triple H tried to do that NXT chant and it wasn't working. People were just cheering, and I was like, no. But yeah, it just felt awkward just having just two of them. I feel like it would have made more sense if you had more people out there.
Yeah, we had Hogan on Monday, Khan on Tuesday. Who did we get on Friday?
Nobody.
Don't ask that question.
No.
All right, we're moving on to the 6-woman tag. I like how we went in our women's matches. We went in increments. We started with 2, then we added 2 more to get 4. Now we're adding 2 more to get 6. We're just slowly adding women to our matches just to continue going up the ladder here. We have the terrible toxic trio of Fallon, Henley, Jacy, Jayne, and Jazmyn Nix, otherwise known to the rest of the NXT universe as Fatal Influence. God, that name still sucks. It still really sucks.
No, Pure Fusion Collective is worse.
No, I almost disagree with that. I'm legitimately, I would much rather Pure Fusion Collective than Fatal Attraction. No, because at least, bear with me on this one. Pure Fusion Collective is at least something new. It's dumb and it makes no sense, but at least it's new. They're literally just re-wrapping fucking Toxic Attraction. Be like, well, how can we do this? Oh, Fatal Influence. It's not quite Toxic Attraction, but it's the same idea.
No, I think they're both terrible.
No, Toxic Attraction was great.
No, but I mean, between Fatal Influence and Pure Fusion Collective, they're exactly, Millie, they're both terrible.
I see what WWE is doing, and all 3 brands got new women. Yeah, in the matter of 1 week, Tiffany Stratton, Rhea Ripley, and now Giulia. Like the rest. Fatal Influence is awesome because it takes your train of thought, kills it, and then takes you on another tangent. It does. Oh, I can't disagree with anything Mike just said there, other than the first 4 words. Fatal Influence is awesome. Other than that, the rest of it I completely agree with. Astrid, talk to us about the 6-woman tag here.
I feel like this was fun. The only thing is like it doesn't feel like it is actually the end between both teams. Yeah, that's the only thing. But I feel like they had fun with each other. At one point, I think it was Gigi and Tatum taking down the girls, which gave Shotzi the opportunity to be in the top rope to go and pin Fallon, which is something that I wasn't expecting because I thought it would have been one of the other girls. I wouldn't have wanted Fallon to get pinned here right after you get Stephanie being crowned as the number one contender. Like that part to me didn't fit really well in there, if that makes sense. Because now it's like, oh, we have Stephanie who just won as the one contender, but then Shotzi can say, oh, I'm the one contender too because I just been the champion. So it's like, so what did you have the fatal 4-way for then? And just at the same time, it's just like, that's the only thing I didn't like about the rhythm of this as it happened. But again, they had a lot of fun. I love the group here. I don't think I was waiting for them to be called Chemical X. Like people are calling them because that just sounds fun. With the Powerpuff Girls, Chemical X, the Powerpuff Girls. No, okay, yeah.
The Little Freaks is a fine nickname. I don't understand why we can't just call them the Freaks.
Yeah, because I don't
In
think
the
they're
90s,
really
that's what
like
they
on
would have been
TV.
called. In the 90s, when I started watching professional wrestling, that's exactly what they would have been called.
Nah, not anymore.
We had a 4-way because Stephanie won victory behind Giulia. That makes sense. The Bloc Quebec? I can't speak French. Quebecois?
You got me with that one, CG. Even my French, I can't do that.
Chemical X.
Yeah, Chemical X.
Did you also have Millie popping in saying I've missed the hater for 8 these
No, don't tell him that, Millie. No.
There's very little for me to hate on this show. It's like they asked me what my perfect NXT would be, and then they put it on the television screen. It's fantastic.
Okay, I'm trying to read it. Is it Claw Quebecois? Is that I'm trying to read it like in French in a way, but no.
No. I was very, very generous on that show last night for Monday Night Raw. Here's the thing, because a lot of people have been talking about this. The show last night for Raw was not meant for anybody in this chat.
No.
It wasn't meant for anybody there. It wasn't meant for anybody on the Raw stream. If you're a diehard who's part of the IWC, that show wasn't for you, baby.
No.
That show was, oh, look at all these names that used to be here that you might recognize.
Mm-hmm.
That's what that show was for. That's
Yeah.
why The Rock was a babyface last night, just like he told us tonight. All right. Say it, Bloc Quebec.
See, that Quebecois. I'm guessing it sounds kind of similar to what I was saying. I tried going the French way on it, so.
Yeah, tonight was a really, really good show. Raw for what it was last night was a fine spectacle. It wasn't a wrestling show, but it was a fine spectacle.
I prefer my 3 women's match in 1 hour over what we got yesterday. So,
Unfortunately, that happiness is going to go away from you for the women's matches because we're all men now for the rest of the way. Starting with Lexis King gaining back what was rightfully his. The Heritage Cup Championship is back with Lexis King. It was great. This was fun. This was a really good match, believe it or not. I really like this. These two have had 3 really good matches. Like,
yeah.
Lexis is growing on me more and more every week. I hate it. I'm falling into a trap, but I hate it.
Now I'm gonna need a new co-host for the show because he said Lexis is growing on him. Who wants to apply?
I believe Andre already believes that it's his.
There you go. The first kickoff of the year.
I can't help it.
No,
He's
we're not.
starting to grow on me.
No.
I kind of like Lexis King now. I was happy he won. I was so
Thank you,
happy he
STG.
won.
I guess New Year knew him. I don't know.
No, it started last year when I saw him in Lola and unexpectedly just... Now I'm old and full of hope instead of hate.
But I did like the aspect that this was in like the regular matches that they said this is like is treated like a sudden death match, so it's 1 fall and that's it. I like having that because we never had that in NXT before. It made it completely different from what we had before. But I'll get 100. But again, this was a fun match too. I feel like what I enjoyed about this show tonight is that I really enjoyed the pacing of it. I didn't have any moments that it went low for me and it dipped in any way, shape, or form. And this was another one that continued on because that, especially that ending, because we see Charlie doing the leapfrog, and then Lexis ends up hitting him, and that's what causes like the downfall of this whole match for Charlie later. So I was like, that sequence there again. This is similar to the Fatal 4-Way. The timing that they had to do for that was impeccable too. Very well done, and I enjoy that ending too.
Yeah, and I like having Corey specifically there to say accidental contact. He didn't try to hit him low. He just happened to hit him low. And it's like, the referee's like, well, should I disqualify him? Shouldn't I? And he's like, he didn't try to do it. It's not like he dropped to his knees and hit a low blow. It just sort of happened. So it is what it is. No, I thought this was great. Like I said, Charlie Dempsey is fantastic. I love Charlie Dempsey. He's great. He's still boring, but the Candy Crew has brought something out of him. It's brought a little bit of life out of him. Adding in Tavion Heights and Ren Sinclair have been a godsend for Charlie Dempsey because they bring much needed energy to Charlie Dempsey. And again, nothing wrong with it. I like Charlie Dempsey. He's a great tactician and he does what he needs to do. But somehow, some way, NXT has gotten their evil clutches in there. And it's great. I will also read, the Bloc Québécois is a federal political party in Canada devoted to Quebec's nationalism and the promotion of Quebec's sovereignty. The Bloc was formed when the members of parliament who defected from the federal Progressive Conservative Party and the Liberal Party during the collapse of Meech Lake Accord. Apparently it's a political thing. I don't know. It has nothing to do with me. The entire opening through the Rocks entrance last night was absolutely beautiful to me from what I saw. I'll always enjoy the nostalgia trip, especially when it's been... Yes! Like, me and Bobby had an issue with Undertaker until we realized that all he was doing was literally just coming out there to spotlight Rhea Ripley. And it's like, okay, that's better. That's better than what they could have done. He didn't come out there to do something for him. It was to bring a light to Rhea Ripley, which I'm never going to be upset with. But no, Lexis King is the new one. Dan, Bobby, can you explain it to you more than what you read? I'm here to rag on you. And
that came from Bobby.
It did. The thing I read was literally from Bobby Munson. That was the basic, easy description, as he calls it. And also, Astrid, for you, Millie is volunteering for either this show or a WCW. Just saying.
I got you.
We're not going to need to put that back up there.
Wait, no.
Anyway. Yeah.
Oh my god.
WCW 2000. No, Women's Championship. Wow, Women's Classic Wrestling is a fantastic show. It's much better than WCW 2000. Oh, crap. Anyways, after this I believe is the Ethan Page Rock segment.
Yeah.
Ethan Page comes in and he's talking to Ava and she's still unhappy with him and he's unhappy with her because this is the biggest night for NXT and I'm not on the card. Why am I not on the card? And he's very irritated with her. And then came the final boss. And all of a sudden, I'm very happy to be here.
Yeah.
This is a great little segment because this part makes no difference. I could care less. For all of the Ethan Page stuff out of this, I don't give a shit. But I love... Yes, there was great. His reply here, as Bobby says, I broke his fingers, but I'm happy to take credit for the rest. He and The Rock really did play off each other well. Like, it was meaningless and I don't need it, but it was really fun and interesting. But the meat and potatoes of this is, he goes, look, we had a meeting earlier today with all the talent, and I told them all that you're more than welcome to come to me should you need anything. And he's like, Ethan, I tell you the same thing. Which begs me the question, did Ethan think he was too good to show up on time to miss the meeting with the final boss? Because The Rock, the way he says this, makes it seem like Ethan wasn't at the meeting earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Which, if I were Ethan, I'd make sure that I was always at the meetings if I knew the final boss was going to be in town.
Sure.
But The Rock says, well, I might be the final boss here in NXT. She's the final boss. And Ethan very unhappily looks over at Ava, who got a big smile on her face. I don't think I've ever seen Ava this happy.
No.
And then Ethan walks away and he said, and then they say cool about 60 times. Like they keep going back and forth about the word cool. Like I know there are words in between, but the only word I remember is the word cool because they said it over and over and over and over and over again.
Yep.
But then we get to my favorite part of this segment. The Rock standing there with Ava, and you just see the pride on his face as he's looking at her as the GM. And he's like, I don't know what I'm going to say. She's like, of course you know what you're going to say. And he's like, no, I don't know what I'm going to say. And so she tells him what apparently he must have told her a million times before she started having to talk on the microphone. And they do the little fist bump, and she walks away, and he goes, I don't fucking know what I'm going to say. I love this. This is great. The final girl and the final boss on the same screen at the same time. That's a deep cut to the NXT taking over filmography there. The final girl aspect, because when Ava started working on the Florida loop, she was portraying a character called the Final Girl, which is obviously a horror movie reference because she and Ashford are both horror movie fans. And I just think it's funny that later on, Rock becomes the final boss, and you get this little midway point between the two of them. This was great. I loved it. It was a heartwarming scene.
And when gonna send the Rock to the HR office for slapping Ethan's butt on the way out. I did like the fact that he goes, see you on the main roster. Usually they don't mention stuff like that in NXT of like main roster, like saying it like that exactly. He's like, see you on the main roster soon. And she's like, I can't wait for that to happen.
Yeah, I know. But I'm surprised she didn't say it when he's there. But like, take him with you. Take him back to Raw. I don't care. I don't need him.
Yeah, really well done here.
I also love the placement of Ethan being directly between them, almost like totally covering Ava and then kind of revealing her. Yeah, like this was blocked perfectly. And again, it just shows how well NXT is done, that you can have these little things and have this segment. And it, of course, it took way too much time. It did. But at least it was entertaining. If you're going to waste my time, at least be funny and make me smile.
Not only that, but think about it this way. Ever since she debuted, they always giving us hints. Like, obviously, we know who she is, but they keep putting hints here and there. And the latest hint was the bloodline before he pops up. So I think that just the irony of the timing of that was funny as well. But we get all these like hints that she's the Rock's daughter, only for him to finally have that moment with him. Girl went from being on the Golden Globes before with him Sunday night to be on Tuesday with him there too. So it's like a great week for her so far.
Yeah, Ava's having a fantastic week. She's getting to show up everywhere. As long as she's with Daddy, she's going to be able to go anywhere she wants to go. And I love how they still didn't tell us that she's his daughter. Like, they did everything but say it. Like, seriously, they did everything but say it was a father-daughter segment here. But like I said, it was great. We then get, if I remember correctly, I have no notes for this, so everything's off the top of my head. I believe this is the main event.
Before the women's tag match, we got the Ethan thing. Then we got the women's tag, and now we got Ava with Fallon and Shotzi and Stephanie talking about the match.
We've already pretty much gone over this. Next week, Stephanie Vaquer takes on Shotzi, and the winner of that will take on Fallon Henley in the future. Great. Millie pops up and says, I now wonder how many watching tonight just put two and two together that they're father and daughter. More people than you'd like to think. Way more people didn't know this was a thing. I think more people realized it when Vin said, hey, Dwayne, last night, and you saw Ava sitting right next to Dwayne. I think more people realized it then than they did tonight, but definitely more people than would ever admit to us said it then. We needed Santino and Ariana for this segment. That's a nice father-daughter duo over there. And
They got their moment in TNA when that happened.
by the way, speaking of something that hasn't been on NXT TV that we have to talk about, have you seen this fucking The Family bullshit on Twitter? It's so great. I love this telenovela.
Bits and pieces, but yes.
It's my favorite telenovela. I love this shit. They're doing their own like fucking mini movie where Stax like stole Funaki's wallet. And now Stax is in prison and they like roughed up a bar to get somebody to give them information. And Ariana Grace totally like stole money from Tony D'Angelo for clothes. Oh my God, it's fantastic. I love it. It's so much fun.
Yeah, and it started with him like getting out of the shower with a towel on in his house with Ariana in the background. And I think he got arrested from there, and that's how I started seeing it.
Oh, it's great stuff. I really wish some shit like this were on NXT because it's fantastic. ... I saw that clip. Totally didn't see Ava next to her. Yeah, he's covering her for the most part, but at one point she leans back a little bit and you can see the red in her hair. Hey, Dara Amazing. Hello, Dara Amazing. What's up? Yes, we did see the engagement. Congratulations to Stax and Ariana. Stax is definitely winning, and like I said, and Astrid, if you go to NXT, any of these live shows in Florida, you're not allowed to drink the water because you're seeing what's happening here with all the couplings and all the pregnancy. No NXT water for you. Bring your own bottled water.
Why not?
We're not. I'm not biting on that one. Astrid, what came next?
Why not?
Astrid, what came next?
Who doesn't want a little bit of romance before Valentine's Day?
I can think of somebody who might be a little bit upset with that, but let's move on.
We'll see about that.
What happened after the segment here?
I broke him.
Is this when the main event starts? I don't remember.
Yeah, this is when Eddie's trying to make his way to the ring when the match is starting. Yeah.
Wow, Ed. Hater.
I broke him.
I'm not stopping her from being happy. There are bits and pieces of this shit that y'all don't know that I know that I'm not allowed to talk about on the air. So yes, I'm going to keep drinking my smart water as Astrid talks about the triple threat match between Oba Femi and Trick Williams and Eddy.
God. I'm gonna clip that for later. Somebody's gonna be real happy about it.
Oh, I can think of somebody who I have to see their reaction to that later on. Move on.
No, we see Eddy making his way to the ring as the match is about to start. They still have it introduced as a three-way, even though Eddie's not to be seen as he's making his way there. I did like the rock bottom that Trick did from I think it was almost from the top rope or the middle rope. But it was more like Oba was in control, and then he reversed it towards that rock bottom, so that was pretty cool. And then just when you think Trick has that moment, here comes Eddy to pull the referee. He has a chair in his hands. This is another aspect as well that I love. The timing of it is what made it be the way it was as well. Because Trick comes in for the second trick shot on Oba, thinking like, I hadn't done for the first time. I'm going to try again. And Oba ducks just as Eddy has a chair, and it hits Trick, but at the same time it hits Eddy too as this is happening. So Eddy is down, Trick is down, Oba does his thing, and then he ends up winning the championship. And from the beginning I thought when this was a form as a three-way, I thought Eddy is gonna eat that pin, and that's why he's there, so we can protect Oba but still have Trick as champion. So to me, this was like my whole mindset the whole time going into this. So even with this happening, I was thinking like Eddy is here to eat that pin. But then having Oba take advantage of that moment, which again, the timing was great when it happened, and only for Oba Femi to be crowned champion. And we start the new year with a bunch of new champions now.
And by the way, I'm obligated to put him on screen when we talk about him being on camera. Otherwise, Mel will get mad at me. So Can take him down now. Yeah, no, I'm. There are no. I know Millie posted this on Twitter. There are no mixed feelings. I love Trick Williams. I think Trick is great. I'm sorry that Trick lost, but there was no chance in hell that I was rooting against Oba Femi in this thing. Oh,
That was tough.
Oba.
It was tough.
Oba.
That was
Yeah,
tough.
no, it was
but
great.
yeah.
We have new champions on both sides, the men and the women. And there was a great picture. Like, so here's the thing. They do the win. Oba's at the top of the stage, and he gets to share his moment, which is fine. He gets to share his moment with Giulia. I have no problem with that. I have a problem with them then deciding, next up comes The Rock. And I'm just like, no, this should have been your closing shot of your pay-per-view. The ticker tape's fallen down. You've got both your new champions on your screen. Boom, we're done. That's the way it should have been. No. Oba and Trick didn't have the greatest chemistry. There was a few clunky moments. Oba had a hard time with how tall Trick was, with getting him in the positions he needed to throw him. Which is funny, considering just last week, Oba Femi won Match of the Year for tossing around Dijak and Briggs. Yeah. It wasn't bad, but there were a couple of spots that just looked kind of awkward. Oba was having a lot of trouble doing his, the guy puts his leg on his head and then he just takes him and throws him in the air. He really couldn't get Trick going for that. The fall from Grace, he had a little bit of issue trying to get Trick up for the fall of Grace. And again, I think it had to do a little bit more with Trick's height than Trick's weight. Trick's not that big of a guy, like built bulk-wise, but he's definitely a taller gentleman. But Oba Femi's the champion. I'm super excited. I can't wait for the Oba Femi era to begin next week. No Roxanne. Oba's champion. It's great. Trick is tall and skinny. Dijak is tall and thick. Different types of reactions needed. Yes. I also get to see Dijak this week, so I'm very excited to tell him that I'm happy he won Match of the Year in NXT, even though he's no longer there. But yeah, this was indeed the Mel's already mad at you for talking about Astronaut. I did not say that Ash was unhappy. I did not say that Ash was unhappy. I said that somebody Ashton's nose will be unhappy. And we're stopping it here because I'm already getting myself in trouble with Ashton enough as it is. We've got Millie saying the entire picture of the backstage after the one with the champs. I was just like, I really want to see that in full screen, damn it. I guarantee you we're going to get that on Twitter. If it's not already there, it will be on there probably by the end of the night. Yes, I'm a man. I know how to dig my own grave. It's fine. I'll be good. This was a great show. I know we only talked for about an hour, but everything was really good. We didn't really have to go back and forth about anything. Things that NXT set up that are still in the works from the last 2 weeks. We didn't see anything with Izzy Dame and Sean Spears. They've been continuing to set up over the last couple of weeks that we've been gone. I'm excited to see what happens there. This new team of Wesley and TNT is really good. I really enjoy that. We talked about the final segment at the beginning of the show, so we didn't have to talk about it here because we didn't want to end the show talking about The Rock. No, I really liked the match they had there. Andre Chase. We had a backstage segment with Cal Dixon asking when the next semester of Andre Chase University is. Chase U might be coming back. I know Chase said there's no more Chase U and he walked away, but there might be.
I was going to ask you about that because from what I remember, we've only seen Andre one time, I think, after that. And he was all mess. Yeah, and
he lost. He had the backstage segment where somebody yelled his name in the locker as he's walking away. And then we had Cal Dixon here during last week's show.
And we haven't seen not even Thea, which I'm surprised about. It feels weird to not seen Thea in so long. This is the longest we've been without Thea Hale on screen.
Yep, and he did indeed work the 6-way until he got to the Chase U stomps, and then he stopped and tagged out and walked away. He's still doing masterful work. I mean, Millie misses Thea. You miss Thea. I don't miss her. It's fine. No,
that's a little bit of the haterade.
Yeah, we didn't get any more with Zarya and Sol Ruka, especially after we missed last week. So there's more to come with them. But again, tonight was about the matches we had. Like, they did a really good job building the things that they had on this show. I didn't miss Lexis King. He was there. I saw him. It's okay. But no, they did a really good job building the stories that were taking place tonight and building off of the stories that they were taking place tonight. I'm sure we'll see them pick up some of these threads next week on a normal episode of NXT because, you know, this is essentially like a mini PLE for them.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they hit a home run. I really do. I think NXT tonight hit a home run. Ms. Astrid, tell the people where they can find you this upcoming week.
Not much going on for the moment. I do have some prep to do over the weekend for interviews coming up, so hopefully you'll see some of those pretty soon. Got one maybe two on the works, so we'll see how that goes. Yeah, other than that, you can find me on my Twitter, Blue Sky as Astrid Pizarro, my Instagram and Threads as Pizarro20. And again, if you're here, you're most likely on my YouTube channel. If you're not, go hit the subscribe button and hit the like button on the video. And then, yeah, I want to get hopefully to 300 subs this year. So that's the goal. We'll see how that goes.
And now that it's been brought up by somebody else, I can bring it up again. When are we going to get a ladies wrestling showcase? Because she brought it up on the year-end awards.
Yeah, whenever we both have a day off together.
Mike says, tonight felt like an old school pay-per-view, all about the matches and the rivalry involved, nothing else. I agree. Everything that we saw tonight was essentially about the things tonight, with the exception of the Ethan promo.
That Ethan Page because he wasted our time.
Well, yes, but he was part of things that were advertised for tonight, so it's in there.
Still, I'm wasting my time.
And of course, you can find me here at EdFries12584 on Twitter and Blue Skies, although I don't know what the fuck I'm doing on Blue Skies, so they don't do much over there. Find me on Twitch at twitch.tv/EdFries2002. Me and Andre have got a big year of Marvel talk coming up this year, so get ready for that. That stuff will start towards the end of the month. We'll probably be back with one more MCU rebound in the next week or two, probably, but Andre's got a lot of Japanese wrestling to get through reviewing right now, so we're going to give him a bit of a break from Marvel talk so he can get through. I know they're recording Wrestle Dynasty as we speak. They already have their thing up for Wrestle Kingdom. They've got Did You Noah coming up in next week. They've got a Stardom show coming up next week. All kinds of Japanese stuff over there. You can find them on Japanese Wrestling Update, and they'll tell you all the wonderful places you can find them. You can find me back here with Astrid next Tuesday night. You can also find me with Bobby Munson, Andre C., and some guy named Mark who talks a lot and yeets a lot.
Sounds about right.
But yeah,
you can
find all of us there. What's up?
The other part, TNA is coming up soon, just so you guys know.
You mean...
Coming soon. To OLE. See you soon.
I guess
Yes.
I realize that we haven't revealed it, but Mark and I will be doing the TNA show coming up soon. So because OLE's a little bit overbooked on Thursdays, we're going to be doing it on Fridays. So that's why Ladies Fashion Showcase is going to take a little bit of a moment while we situate ourselves here because Mel's also busy on Fridays. So we'll see how that goes. So Mark will be talking a lot more because he's going to be talking about TNA with me soon. Yay!
I was trying to make sure I like both this and Astrid stream before y'all go live when watching the only. Well, we greatly appreciate that. Mike Derev saying prediction for 2025: Ed will like AEW. What? Ed will like AEW?
Mike. Oh, Mike.
That's
Don't get him
a
started.
bold prediction. I mean, I watched Wrestle Dynasty, but I watched Wrestle Dynasty for the New Japan stuff, not for the AEW stuff.
Mike, don't get him
Like,
started.
come on, man. Hey, there's a chance. There's a chance I like AEW by the
No,
end of the
that was for the TNA thing. I think it was the EA part.
No. Oh, maybe.
I
I know
think it was.
I'm excited to hear Mark talk more, but
Well, you're gonna hear him talking a lot more. It'll
I
be
mean-
TNA. But I feel bad because awful timing with somebody being back. But oh well.
oh, you mean Miss Tessa back in TNA? You know,
Yeah,
the
don't remind
greatest
me.
of intrudes.
Don't remind me.
All right, well, we're going to go ahead and get out of here. So all of our fine viewers on Twitch, we are going to go ahead and send you to JT Dunn from Chaotic Wrestling, who's in the main event of the Chaotic show on Friday night. What do we got there? What do we got? Oh, hold on. What was that comment? Put it up there.
Oh, this one.
I got to remember to give Ed It's just because there's a delay. By the time you type it and post it, it's like we're 10, 20 seconds ahead and we've done something else. Mark is a distinguished gentleman. Clearly a person who's never worked with Mark in their life.
No comment.
After months of Lexis hate, Ed turned. I'm not sure. He might like, no, I refuse to like AEW. Refuse. AEW's fine. I want AEW to succeed. The more AEW succeeds, the more WWE succeeds. Rising tides lift all boats. It's all we want. Although, I will say that AEW has already beaten Raw in the ratings this week because Raw had a 0 for television ratings. And AEW is going to have more than 1. So, technically, AEW wins the ratings war with Raw this week.
Mike, I told you not to get him started. See what you created?
Here we go. Oh.
Yeah.
And now it's making me wait to do the raid. Well, for myself and Oled and Fries, because Ashford's not going to be here anymore. Thank you. Have a great night. We'll see you next time. Goodbye.
I am in misery.